Hi, in this session we will be learning to use SQL in SAS. As you can see in my screen, the SAS window. Let me introduce you to the different windows of SAS. The one that you can see now is the SAS editor. This is the place where you can write your SAS code, and then followed by this one is the log window. So whatever code you run, the log of that will be displayed here, and the third one is the output window. So whatever output you whatever code you run, the output will be shown here. Okay, so directly we'll be learning to use SQL in SAS. So before we start learning SQL in SAS, we need to learn how to prepare a data set in SAS. We can create a data set in variety of ways. One way of doing is using data statement in SAS. As you can see in the screen, I have used a data statement to create a data set. I have written data, then the name of the table. So this is the name of the table. Then you write input and you give all the columns that you want in the table. So these columns will be called as variables. So this is my first variable, this is my second variable. Employee ID is the first, name is second, age, salary, and sex. As you can see, I have put dollar after name and sex. This is because name and sex are the variables which are strings. They are not numerical variables. So a variable which is not numerical, you have to put a dollar sign after you put the variable names in the input statement. Then you write the data line statement, then followed by the data you want in the employee table. As you can see, the first variable is the employee ID, followed by the employee name, employee's age, employee salary, and then employee sex. You write it for all these employees, and now you run the code. Okay, when you run the code, okay, and you go to the log to check, and in the log there is a message for you. It says that the data set work.employee has 5 observations and 5 variables. So now we are sure that our data set has been created. One thing to ask here is why it is work.employee. What it says is this employee table is stored in the work library. Regarding the library in SAS, we'll be learning that in the SAS session, but for now remember that work library is a temporary library where this data set has been kept. When I say temporary library, it means that when you close this SAS session, if I close it here, this data set will not be there anymore. When you reopen the SAS session, you won't find this data set anywhere in your SAS session. So this work library is basically a temporary library and a default library if you do not mention the library. So here we haven't mentioned the library anywhere. That's why the data set is stored in the default library, which is the work library, and which is a temporary library which is valid only for the current SAS session. You can check the data set actually. You go to view, then go to explorer, and then click here on the work, and this is your data. So you can click here to see whether your data is created properly or not. You can see the data set is created properly, with employee ID, name, age, salary and sex as the columns of the data set. Okay, let's close these data set. If remember that if the data set is open, you cannot run the code, so you have to first close the data set. Yeah, closed. Close this. Yeah. So now we'll start learning how to use SQL in SAS. To use SQL in SAS, you first call this SQL engine. For that, you write proc SQL, then you put semicolon, and then you write your SQL code inside. Let's say we want to retrieve all the information from the employee table. So we write select star from employee, then we put semicolon, and then we write quit. So every time we write SQL within SAS, we have to write two things. First one is we have to write proc SQL, this portion. So every time you write SQL, you have to write proc SQL or proc SQL. SQL is otherwise known as SQL many times, so I often use it interchangeably, so do not be confused. So this proc SQL, then followed by semicolon, then you write your query inside, then you end your query by writing quit. When you write quit, the SQL engine quits after it runs the SQL query. Now let's run this code. When we run this code, we get all the information from the employee table. Now you might want to retrieve information based on some condition. You want to retrieve information from the employee table where the salary of the employee is more than 5,000. So you write select star from employee, then you write where salary is greater than 5,000. So to retrieve information from the table using based on some condition, you have to use where clause, and then you have to write the condition. The condition is salary has to be greater than 5,000. So put another 0 here, and this is the greater than sign. Okay, now we'll run this code. When we run this code, yeah, so Suresh is the employee whose salary is greater than 5,000. Let's say we want to retrieve information for those employees whose salary is less than 4,000. Run this code. Okay, so Nishan and Manisha, these are the two employees whose salaries are less than 4,000. Okay, let's say you want to retrieve only one or two variables from the data set. You don't want to retrieve all the variables. So what do? You write select. Let's say you want to retrieve only name and age of the employee names. So you write name, comma, age from employee, semicolon, and then run this code. So you get only name and age. You can put where clause also. You want to retrieve name and age for employees whose age is below 40 years, let's say. So you can put your condition here, age less than 40. When you run this code, oh, some error. Okay, so every time you run the code, you go to the log to check if there is some error or not. Okay, so we forgot to write the where clause from employee where. Okay, so this is correct now. Select name age from employee where age is less than 40. Okay, now you run this code. Okay, so Nishan, Vineet and Manisha are the employees whose age are less than 40 years. Okay, you want to retrieve information for that employee whose name is Manisha. So in the where clause you write name is equal to inverted comma Manisha. So why do we put inverted comma in this case? We put inverted comma in this case only because the name variable is a string. This variable is not a numeric variable. So for variables which contain string values or character values, we have to put the values inside inverted comma. So that's how this SAS recognizes whether the variable is a character variable, string variable, or a numerical variables. So, and make sure whatever you write inside this inverted comma is consistent with that of the value in the data set. It means the case should be matching. In this case, the name starts with uppercase, and in the data set also the name starts with uppercase followed by all the lower cases. So the cases should be matched, otherwise it won't recognize. Okay, when you run this code, you get information, name and age for the employee whose name is Manisha. Now say for example we want to retrieve information for employees whose salary is more than 3,000 and the sex is female. In those cases we are putting multiple conditions based on which the data will be retrieved. So in these cases we want to use AND condition. So how do we use AND condition? Select star from employee where salary, let's say it should be greater than 30,000 and sex is female. So F stands for female. You can see in the data set which all records will be retrieved. So salary is more than 3,000 for Nissan, for Vineet, for Nini, for all of them, I guess. Yeah, for all of them. But the second condition is that the sex also has to be female. So when you use AND condition, both your conditions has to be true, only then the record will be retrieved. So Nissan will not be retrieved because his salary is okay, his salary is not even greater than 3,000, so he is out. Vineet, yeah, so Vineet's salary is more than 3,000, so the first condition is true, but the second condition is false because his sex is male. Nini, her salary is more than 3,000, so the first condition is true. The second condition is also true because her sex is female. For sure is the first condition is true, but second condition is false. For Manisha, both the conditions are satisfied. So we will be getting Nini and Manisha in our output. So let's run it. Okay, so that's what we were expecting. Nini and Manisha are the ones whose salary is greater than 3,000 and sex is female. Okay, let's learn how to sort the data set based on a variable. Say for example, we want to sort the data set in the ascending order of salary. So how do we do that? So we write select star from employee order by salary, then ASC because we want to sort the data set in ascending order. Now you run this code and you can see the data set is sorted in ascending order. You can see in the salary 3,000, 3,500 and so on. So what if you want to sort the data set in descending order? So instead of ASC you put DESC, descending order. So this will sort the data in descending order. Yeah, as you can see here, it's sorted in descending order. Okay, so if you don't mention anything, what happens? If you don't mention anything, as you can see, the data is sorted in ascending order. So if you don't mention anything, ASC or DESC, by default the data is sorted in ascending order. Now let's learn how to insert a new record in the using SQL. So for that you use the keyword insert, then insert into the table name, then you write values, what all values you want to insert. The first one is employee ID. Let say the employee ID for that employee is 135. Then you write the name of the employee, Hema. Since name is a string, you have to put it inside inverted comma. Your age is 56, let's say. Sex is, sorry, before that we have salary is, let's say 6,000, and sex is female. Okay, you have to put it inside inverted comma as well. Inverted comma. Okay, insert into employees values. Okay, when you run this, there is some error. No, there is no error. So it says one row was inserted in employee table. So you can check that by going to view, then explorer, work, and then employee. You can see the last record. So whatever you insert get appended to the table at the very last row. So this record is now there in the data set. You close your data set, close this one also, and yeah, so now you are able to insert data into the data set. What if you want to insert data only for two variables? You don't want to insert all the variables, only two variables you want to insert. Let's say you want to insert only employee ID and name. So how do you do that? uh, I'll be teaching that in my next session, and we'll end the session for today, and thank you so much. Thank you.